Hey guys, this is the Help Us Understand podcast. We're your hosts, Josh
and Zach.
And this week we're going to, talk about some other things that we clearly don't understand, but I think it would be stupid of us to not acknowledge something that happened yesterday. Today is the 14th of July, but as of most of us know, yesterday, the 13th of July, there was an assassination attempt on a former president and a current candidate for president, which is all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, in our lifetime, for something like this to happen is scary.
I think I read the last assassination attempt on a president was in 1980.
Fuck.
Yeah, 5 years before I was born. I mean, it's crazy.
Showing your age.
I'll gladly.
I wasn't even thought of by then, so.
We might have been. Well, I mean, regardless of what your political affiliations are, I mean, just so people will know, just to kind of give some transparency here, Zach and I, for the majority of our friendship, have kind of sat on opposite sides politically. Now, I will say...
a very close line.
Close, yeah. I mean,
we used to be because things weren't so radical before.
Right, and since
it was very just, hey, you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, or you're kind of in the middle.
Right.
And we both were... You were Democrat leaning towards the middle. I was Republican leaning towards the middle slightly.
And now I'm very much middle leaning right.
And I'm very much right, but not all the way to
which
the
is
right
funny because I don't think any of us thought that I would have been like that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, regardless of your political affiliations or your opinions, I don't think anybody thinks it's a good idea. Well, obviously some people do. But I don't think anybody thinks it's a good idea for any kind of violence. I mean, that's not how we do things. We're a democracy. We're supposed to vote on these things. We're supposed to discuss them. And one of the biggest issues in this country is people can't have a differing opinion and have a fucking conversation. It's always got to go radical. It's always got to get violent.
We said that last time. Nobody can have a conversation.
It's silly. Forgive me. It's one of those things we don't understand. But the shooter's dead. An innocent person in the crowd is dead.
That's sad.
Trump obviously survived. Good. It's just a shame, though. I mean, I feel really for the guy who got killed. He went to a rally to support a president, wanting to have a good day.
I read all his daughters wrote all that stuff, and he was really excited to be there.
Yeah, he was a former police chief.
Yeah,
fire chief.
Fire chief.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, it's sick.
It is.
It's just sick.
Yeah.
The fact that people think that's something that's just it's needed. No, there's not a time or a place where we should think that killing someone that's representing a political party is okay. If unless there are certain very
if a political leader was up there, campaigning for genocide, that's completely different. But that's not what either one of that's not what I'm saying. It's just different. It's just a different side of opinions of people.
And what's terrifying is it's only been 24 hours, and you have the internet divided, literally
more than they were.
Yeah, even more. You have more people that have now moved over to support Trump because they're like, oh, there's something going on.
Yeah. Then
you have the ones that are remaining who are typically the far left are like, damn it, why did he miss the shot?
Which is fucked
up. That's fucking terrible.
I mean, even
you are a mentally ill piece of shit.
Here's the thing.
To say something like that.
You know better than anybody. I've never been a fan of Trump, but I'm not a fan of Biden. But the thing about it is, though, despite my disagreements on what Trump might have to say, or despite my disagreements on what Biden might have to say in certain policies and certain things, I would never want either one of them to be hurt or killed or anybody. That's what I'm saying. And I've had fights and arguments with people that I disagree with, that I would never want to hurt them. So clearly, you have to be on a level of mental illness or a level of just fucking cracked open, lost it.
You need therapy. You need fucking therapy.
Something.
But this goes back to that point that you and I had gotten irritated at, and I want to say this was probably 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Not my president. Bitch, yes, the fuck they are.
Right.
I don't like Biden, but he's our president.
Yeah.
He is my current president.
Right.
I'm not going to say that bitch ain't my president. That is stupid.
That
is a dumb mentality. That's like going to school and someone's your teacher and you don't disagree, or you disagree with how they're dressing. That's not my teacher. Then how the fuck are you going to learn?
Right. I know.
It's your teacher temporarily. In 4 years, it'll change.
I know. And the problem, well, here's the thing though. I've also noticed now. I don't know whether or not it's one side or the other that's thinking this way, but a lot of people are coming forward and being like, guys, okay, we all need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
If it's getting this goddamn heated to where we feel like we need to attempt to assassinate a former president, somebody who's running for the presidency, then we all need to chill the hell out.
Yeah.
Because what is that going to solve? Imagine if he had, God forbid, but imagine if he had succeeded. What the hell would that have done?
Right.
Really, I don't even know if there would have been an election in November. And I think it would have.
There would have, but it would have been fucked.
Well, but also I think society. I don't think it would have crumbled, but I think there would have been a lot of rioting and a lot of violence.
And see, I was listening to a live Twitter space I don't know what it's called, live space on X.
Right.
And this guy was basically arguing. They just had elections, I think, in the UK.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So he was like, it felt kind of like good. Like
right.
there wasn't this severe animosity going on. And he said, I really believe that if this guy was successful, the U.S. probably would have went into like a mini civil war, because he thinks that the far right would have erupted over this. And then the far left would have been cheering that it happened. And
right.
it would have caused just this, what's almost happening now, but
yeah.
not to that severe degree of, hey, we need to kill each other. Like, it just, I think we're bordering that line of, oh my God, we could kill people.
Here's the biggest issue that I have with it. Well, I have a bunch of issues with it, but one of the things I was thinking about as it was happening is the left, the people on the left, and I'm not assuming that they were on the left. These are people that were openly liberal and saying they were on the left side, saying, how did he miss? Oh my God, you had a chance and you messed it up or something. So did they think that whatever issues they're having politically is going to go away if Trump went away?
Right.
No.
Now,
granted, there are some Trump supporters that, in my opinion, do go a little far with the worship of the man.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, I just don't think that people's opinions and people's morals and how they feel about certain policies is going to change because he's gone.
Right.
So I just don't understand the
someone else is going to fill those shoes.
Yeah.
And
sure.
it could be someone even worse.
That's true.
I mean, that's we're getting so, and this could be a whole nother episode.
Oh yeah.
We are getting so separated from what the morals are in each group.
Right.
Of Democrat and Republican that I'm almost thinking that the in between is going to start having a chance at winning. Like,
right.
I think that was a semi smart move by JFK Jr. No. What am I trying to say?
RFK?
Yeah, RFK.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, Jesus. I think it was kind of a smart move in a way, because he, originally when he said he was going to split, it was something like, if the chance that these both match at 50 and 50, then by law, I become the president. Which is maybe potential, but I don't know.
Well, I didn't realize this. Did you know that postal workers are in line for the presidency?
Yeah,
they're way down, but that's still that's funny that it goes down that chain of command. Like, if everybody for whatever reason were to go down for whatever reason, some random postal worker.
Could you imagine, like, an apocalypse happens and Bob from Postal Services comes up and he's like,
now see, I've known a number of postal workers and they're all really good people. I just don't know if they would want the fucking presidency. You know what I'm saying?
All right, guys, we're treating this like we do shipping out the mailboxes.
Right,
okay?
for sure. Yeah,
you're going here. That would just be.
No matter rain, sleet, or snow.
That's right.
The government's going to keep.
Oh man! But anyway,
but we have to, unfortunately, we do have to kind of keep moving forward and laugh about this kind of thing, because if you don't, things would fall apart.
And they're close. It's close.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I will give it. Now, I am not a humongous fan of Trump. He's too old. He's too effing old. Like, I can't. We got to get some young people out there. Not young, but like middle-aged.
Well, not young, but I still, again, I do think that we need term limits. God, we are turning in this to a whole political thing.
Yeah.
Which is, just for the record, before we started recording, me and him had a talk. We're like, let's not turn this to a political episode. And that's exactly what's happening. But there needs to be term limits. But I don't like the idea of some people in their 20s and 30s running for office.
You can't.
They haven't lived long enough.
You have to be, what, 30...
But it's not even that, though. I would prefer someone in their 40s or 50s that have had experience.
Agreed.
Now, granted, Donald Trump doesn't have a lot of political experience aside from his term as president, but he had a hell of a lot of experience in business, in dealing with people and dealing with all people all around the world and all that kind of stuff. So,
I mean, there's pros and cons to every candidate.
Oh,
there is. There's pros and cons to just what you want.
Right.
But I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
The man stood up.
That's what I was going to say.
And
this is the last thing that I'll say. And this, again, I'm not the biggest Trump fan, but when he stood up and told Secret Service, wait, and put his fist up and said, fight, I was like, that's one bad motherfucker. Like, I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because would you have done that?
No,
I'd probably be like, get me out of here.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, you gotta have.
And then he said that originally they were going to delay his next rally. And he said, I changed my mind. I'm going to be there.
Well, tomorrow's the RNC.
Yeah.
And he's going to speak.
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to show up.
Yeah.
Like, that shows commitment.
Right.
It shows strength. It shows him not being a coward.
Right.
I'm not saying that I'm, pushing anybody listening towards.
No, of course not.
But I'm just stating the facts, right?
And that's a good segue. So we're going to end the whole Trump discussion. It's a shame. It shouldn't have happened. It was fucked up that anybody felt that was what needed to be done.
And it better not fucking happen again.
Right. You heard it here. But I mean, the fact that somebody thought that that's what needed to happen to make real changes in this country is not good. That's not a good thing.
Seek therapy.
Need right.
Seek therapy,
Things need to cool
please.
down. But before we get started with the actual episode, I want to mention we have gotten our YouTube channel up. It is Help Us Understand Podcast on YouTube. Please check it out. That's where, for right now, we're posting all of our episodes. Eventually, we would like to make video episodes. We're still trying to work that out and get that together. But please check out the YouTube channel. Subscribe, comment, let us know what you think of the episode. We want your opinions. Also, we have an email address. Yeah, an email address. It's helpuspod@gmail.com. helpuspod@gmail.com. Any comments, any suggestions, if you disagree with us, which we 100% encourage because that's how we learn and that's how we understand things, please shoot us an email and we will definitely try to include it and read it on the next episode. So, we talked about this in the middle of the week before when we were deciding what we wanted to talk about this week, and we're going to figure out, we're going to help each other understand tipping culture. And what we mean by that is,
You off on this.
well, I mean, I think we can all agree it's gotten, like, especially in the past 10 years, every single thing that you do, people expect to be tipped on it. And I will preface this by saying, Zach and I have both worked in the food industry and the customer service industry for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm 38 years old. My first job, I was 15. I worked in the food service industry and did that for about 20 years after. Yeah. So, I mean, I've been doing it for a long time. And it's hard work, but I never expected tips. I don't think I ever worked a tipping job.
Oh, maybe that's the difference. Neither one of us have actually worked a directly tipping job. Because there were jobs that solely paid through tips, which I don't agree with.
I don't
at
either.
all.
It's not like that in the UK.
That's disgusting. Like, if you can't pay someone to work there, then you shouldn't be in operation.
Right.
You should not be in business. But it's supposed to be. It originally was a gesture. It was you know what? I had phenomenals. They came over and rubbed my shoulders while I was chewing on this steak kind of service. Here's $20.
Yeah.
You know. Now it's moved into, you ate at our restaurant. Oh, well, here's 15% automatically added.
Yeah.
It's an extra tip, and it's like, what do you mean? I came here to eat your food. I didn't come here for the service.
Right.
That's the point.
But it's for like you're saying, it is for the something extra. And I used to get in arguments with friends years ago all the time because I was never a tipper automatically. Shame me. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not going to feel guilty about that. But if I'm paying for the meal, I'm paying for the meal. And I'm just not. I would never understood just giving money for the sake of giving money. Now they don't get paid a right wage. That's fucked up, and that needs to change.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, that's not really the customer's responsibility.
Right.
And I think quality of service has gone down because of that too. Because I think a lot of, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. It's just I'm a big man, so so I eat out a lot. You know, so just seeing like going to some places, especially nowadays. There's really no such thing as exceptional customer service anymore.
No, definitely not.
But
especially after COVID. Oh my God.
But you're still expected to have that iPad turned your way.
Like when before COVID hit, we were, it would suggest. It'd say suggestions. You leave whatever tip. It was generically 10% during the day, 15% for dinner.
Right.
Now it's 15% automatic no matter what time of day, and then 20% for dinner and up.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're paying more for even worse service. Because in the past, your drinks are always filled up.
Right.
You'd have the exception where it's like, God, this place sucks.
Or they're busy or something.
Or they're busy.
Right.
Most of the time, though, they'd be like, everything okay? How's the food? They had the memes where you were eating like a squirrel and they'd come by right when you have the food in your mouth going, is everything okay?
Yeah.
But now it's like, they don't show up.
No.
They don't fill your cups. And then they go, here's your receipt with a 20% gratuity added. Why?
But see, on top of that, too, if you notice that when, like in any restaurant, table service, even when you go to like fast food and stuff like that, it used to be where they would give you the receipt, leave it with you, and you could write a tip amount on there. But now the majority of the time, they come up with that little
iPad thing.
Well, iPad or the little card thing, and you actually have to put in a tip amount in front of the wait staff.
Right.
So it's kind of that extra level of like, well, if you don't, then well, fuck me. Then I guess I'm not a good waiter. Or I don't like that.
I think we've gone south with tips. I think if restaurants had changed it and said all tips go to the business, not the employee, I think tips would be reduced overall. Because then you're not directly insulting, and I have air quotes, insulting the person who served you.
Yeah.
You're just telling the business, I'm not giving you any extra.
Right.
It's a generic thing. But now it's like, well, I don't know if this young person here, if this is their only source of income.
Mm-hmm.
And they're making $7 an hour, $8 an hour, which I think now is probably around 10.
Right.
Still, $10 an hour, well, that's barely enough to survive on. The extra $20 that I'm giving them, it helps them out.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if they did a shitty job,
Right.
I still feel obligated to give it. I mean, it's just getting really bad.
Well, it goes back to you're feeling sorry for that person or something.
Yeah,
But again, like you said, it's an obligation. Now, the thing about it is, another thing that kind of chaps my ass about the whole thing is I've gotten to the point now to where if I'm close enough to a place, I will avoid delivery of the food because, like, I actually looked at. I'm going to be honest. I ordered pizza last week, and on the box, I'm only saying that because I'm trying to diet. I shouldn't be eating pizza.
Quotation marks.
Right. No, I am trying to diet. So on the pizza box, it says the delivery fee does not go to the driver. Make sure to I'm mincing words, of course, but it says something like, be sure to pay your
add more
to appreciate
so they
your driver.
Automatically add more.
So I'm actively asking, if you are a delivery driver for any kind of restaurant, pizza, what the hell ever, where does the delivery fee go?
Yeah.
If it doesn't go to the driver, where does it go?
It just gets added to the business.
That's what I'm saying. And if that's the case, don't call her the delivery fee.
I think the problem is we've gotten too many layers now to companies, right? So I ordered pizza probably about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And when I ordered it, there's a delivery fee, like you said. But then I got a text saying, hey, it's not really being delivered by Pizza Hut. I'll use them for example. DoorDash is now working with us.
And they have a fee.
They have a fee to tip them. Make sure you tip the driver.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. Now because you've added DoorDash because you don't have enough people.
Right.
Now I have to pay DoorDash, you guys for a delivery fee, which you're not even doing.
Yeah.
And then I'm paying for the pizza and the tax.
Right.
So I think we've gotten too many layers. It's like if they had their own delivery service, the delivery fee covers the service.
Yeah.
You can tip them at the door if you feel like it.
Right.
But it's just, when does it stop?
It doesn't. It's only
going
to get worse.
Everything's going to be double the amount by the time, hey, my pizza was $30. Here's $30 tip.
Right.
And
I get that people are struggling. We all are. Right? Inflation's incredible right now, and nobody can afford anything. I totally understand. I get it. I understand that you might need the tips, but at the same time, it's kind of like, if you're not making the money that you need to, if your job is solely based on tips, then you don't need to have a job that requires tips.
Yeah.
I mean, that might sound a little insensitive, but I mean, if I was in that job, I would literally
finding a way out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'd be literally doing anything else because I'm not going to determine, well, man, I need this much for the light bill this month. I hope I make this much in tips tonight. No. I need to know what I'm fucking making by working today.
Yeah, but certain people are wired differently.
I know.
I mean, certain people are like, it's a job. That's their job. The problem comes in where you have, and we've seen the videos, where these people are on these delivery services, not just DoorDash, but other ones, and someone leaves them a $2 tip, and they go to the door and go, what is this?
Yeah.
This isn't a tip. And it's like, well, they're still giving you extra money. What do you want?
Yeah, what in the hell do you want?
This isn't worthwhile. I brought you a whole meal.
Well,
okay.
But you accepted the pickup.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
it's so selfish.
It's not right.
It's
not right.
It's disgusting. I'm afraid of the next 5 years.
I mean, I definitely don't use DoorDash and Grubhub and all that kind of stuff. Other delivery services are available. I don't use those as much as I used to. Simply because of that. Yeah, we're not promoting anybody. We're not sponsored by any of this.
Get off your ass
and go get your fucking
the food. And you don't have to pay for the delivery or the tip. I know it's extra work, people, but come on. We're talking to ourselves too because we do it all the time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it's like one of my favorite places. I'm not going to mention it, but one of my favorite places to go here in town is a burrito shop. And not the big one. It's a kind of a smaller one. But you go and it's kind of like Subway for burritos and taco salads and stuff. And you tell them what you want, and by the time you get to the end of it, they tell you the price and stuff, and they spin the little fucking iPad over. Yeah. Would you like to tip? And this is a place that used to have the little tip jar. If you wanted, that's fine. Yes, I have no issue with that. And to be completely honest, I would be more willing to put something in the tip jar.
Yeah.
But the fact that it suggests a percentage of what I ordered. So the more that I order, the more I'm supposed to give you on top of the price of the product.
Right. It's just getting out of hand.
Yeah.
But you also have to consider, though, with inflation, those tip jars back then were okay.
Oh yeah.
They collected $10 at the end of the day. Cool. $10 now is like, are you serious? I can get a pack of gum and a biscuit.
Barely.
And it's kind of like, okay, well, I understand. Then put a bigger fucking jar or something and put dollars only instead of loose change. I don't know.
So I'm going to ask you a question. Where can you go? Can you go to one store and buy a pack of gum and a biscuit? Where would that be?
No, I'd have to go get gum at like Walmart and then get the biscuit
Biscuit
Village
bill or something. Or just order the biscuit and be like, I know this is a silly question, but you don't carry gum, do you?
It's $3.
Yeah, it's $3. Oh, I was expecting 10. Okay.
Well, 10 for the biscuit and the gum.
For the gum, right, yeah.
But yeah, it's just getting out of hand. Inflation's not helping.
Nah.
And these poor people, man, like making $10 an hour. I mean, seriously, if you and I lost our job today, would you go work and look for something and they'd say, hey, we can start you out at $10 an hour? Right
if that's all that I could find, yeah, of course.
But you'd get more than one.
More than one job. I mean,
I would. $10 an hour?
Me and you have both done that. You remember when I had 3 jobs?
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it sucks.
But not making anywhere near as much.
No,
$10 back then, you would have been like, yeah, sure.
Right.
Now it's like $10.
Well, also minimum wage is still $7 in North Carolina where we are.
Insane.
It's what, $7.25?
Yeah, something like that.
Dude. Well, all right. So
could you imagine
when I first started working, when I was 15 years old, minimum wage was $5.25. So in that long, so 15 years old to my being 38, 23 years.
Well, but here's the problem.
It's
by the time I started working, it was $7 on the button. So between you starting to work and me starting to work, which was maybe what, 8 years apart?
Yeah, something like that.
It changed by $2. So that makes sense, right? Over the course of 8 years, the minimum wage went up. We have now gone 15 plus years without that changing at all. However, businesses and things, because of COVID,
businesses are going up. I don't know of a place that still pays minimum wage. I honestly don't think there is one.
I mean, last I was looking, I always just look around.
Right, for sure.
Subway and Taco Bell are one of the lowest paid.
Well, I don't know. My niece worked at Taco Bell and she was making at least 9 something or other.
9.
Well, still, but that's more. I know it's not right, but I'm saying
off.
No, but it's less than, or it's more than minimum wage.
It's insane, though.
Yeah, I mean,
can you live off of $7 or $8 or $9?
No, of course not.
There's just no way.
I mean, you could survive
in a box,
right?
I mean, I don't say that loosely. There's people out there that are surviving, but the government has things out there that help people.
They do.
So you could make $9 an hour. Get a bunch of stamps and things, and you could manage it.
Right.
But that stuff is there. And this is a great thing to go into.
Yeah.
That stuff is there to help you until you get back on your feet.
Agreed.
I mean, the things that the government has in place are there to help you, right? So if you're making $7 an hour, $9, $10, let's say even up to $12 an hour, they got stamps. They got welfare. They got all these things.
Utility help.
But, like, that's not permanent. It's not meant to be permanent.
Well, no, but it's not. Like, I mean, from my understanding, remember when I swapped jobs a year and a half ago, I had to go on unemployment for, those 2 months or something?
Right, but that was a temporary thing.
But that's what I'm saying. It's set up that way.
Not true, though. I know people personally who live on the government like this. They intentionally just live their life at the bare minimum.
Right.
And they have no aspiration, I guess, to just get anywhere. But like they make low income. Mm-hmm. They're on stamps. They have multiple children.
Right.
They want to just live happy, but then complain that they can't do anything. And it's like,
well, then here's another thing. So why is the government not asking the question? If so many people are needing assistance, what are we doing wrong?
Or maybe there needs to be a limit and say we need to see proof that you are making the effort to make at least the minimum or above.
But try to look at it from their eyes though. If they made it more difficult to get these assistances and this help, there would be more people on the street. Because some people may not even have the choice. Am I saying there's not people that take advantage of it? Of course not.
Right.
There always is.
That's the people that I'm talking about.
Right.
I think we have a much larger group of people now that take advantage of it than used to. It used to be like if someone was on it, you kind of knew.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you don't really know because there's a lot of under the table money getting being passed around. People are living off the government. They're finding ways to use the government
to get around it.
And really, they don't need it.
Right.
I mean, there are people that need it. I completely understand there are people that need it.
Yeah.
I'm all for that, but I don't know. People, just be considerate. I know there's things there for you, but don't abuse shit. I mean, it's
when there's people actually that actually need it. Right.
Our taxes paying for all that shit too.
So I guess what we're saying is minimum wage is too low.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
but I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I really don't know what the answer is. There's a reason why they haven't raised it. And have you noticed it's not even been talked about in legislation? Now,
Right.
I say that loosely because I don't follow all of the doings of
Right,
the
that's
government and everything to that extent. So it might have been, but at the same time, I don't really hear about it.
Well, we did the last election. It was a big thing about we're going to make the minimum wage $15 an
Well,
hour.
yeah, because there was all those protests and stuff for
Yeah.
people that were in fast food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think because the large majority of restaurants and businesses have just automatically increased the pay, I think the government's like, cool, we can still leave it at that. And there's some people who are going to be dicks.
Yeah.
They're going to pay their people $7.25 an hour.
Right.
But the majority of everybody's paying that above that anyway, so why do we even need to discuss it? Which is insane, because that's all I remember us talking about from the age of, 15?
Yeah.
Up till now?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like almost 2 decades have gone by. We've gone from let's talk about it every election to,
It's funny. I remember being 15 talking about pay, and now I'm in my 30s. I'm like, benefits.
Yeah.
I want to know what the benefits are.
That's the health insurance.
Oh, yeah, for
I
sure.
understand you pay $12 an hour, but what's your dental?
I got to go to the doctor.
I got a tooth. I got to get taken care of. Yeah, that's the age. That's age.
Well, I hate that that's how we
I
think
know.
now.
Because really, when we first started working, especially for me, I was just saving up my money, just buying games and food.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about health insurance. Of course, I was still with my parents.
Yeah.
But, didn't need health insurance. Didn't need anything. I was like, I'm paying for my car. I'm paying for games and food. This is it. This is the essentials of life. Now I'm like, I need your dental, your vision, your health insurance, accidental.
Yeah.
I need some short-term, long-term disability. I mean, you need to consider all of it.
You need all of it.
Oh God,
It's insane.
It is. I can't. Yeah,
It's
can't do it.
definitely insane. We all went off on a little tangent there.
Yeah.
Going back to tipping culture, though, this is the one thing I wanted to mention because I remember actually going to a restaurant to pick up some food for the family, and this happened, and I just was so confused. Now, of course, you know me. I can't be mean to people, so I'm always as kind as I can be.
Sure.
But I called a restaurant. I ordered food for takeout. I drove myself to the restaurant, walked in, paid for the food, and they turned the thing around that said, please select an amount, for the tip amount, the percentage. And I wanted to go, what am I tipping you for? Nobody served.
I spit in your food.
I'm here.
10%.
I mean, I'm here to pick it up.
Yeah.
I'm the delivery driver.
Yeah.
I don't understand tipping when you go to pick up your own food.
I know.
I mean, it
Especially
absolutely.
if you're making $7 an hour.
I guess. But it absolutely baffles me. I mean, just as far as tipping going. So I used to live in the UK on and off a few years ago, and tipping culture over there, it kind of does now.
Not non-existent.
It's not non-existent, but it was when I was over there.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of tipping wait staff at a restaurant, there was honestly a question of like, why?
Right. Yeah.
But again, they get paid a wage.
Right.
They don't get paid something stupid like fucking $2
And that
or
was,
something like
I
that.
know when we went to Switzerland a couple of years, God, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
It was weird for us because we saw on the receipt it had that selection still of tip, and I was like, oh, well, sure. And I was tipping, and I realized that they were probably like, "Ooh, we had some nice service," because I don't think anyone else was actually tipping in these restaurants.
Right.
But it's just it's viewed as not as needed. Like you said, they're getting paid a good hourly wage or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They don't need the extra tip. And the business is like, if you're paying us the tip, it's to us. Thanks for giving us good food, good service.
Yes.
Just
Well, I read an article. You remember when you and I were talking about going to Japan?
yeah.
So
We're still talking.
we're still
about
going to
that.
Japan, right? Well, I was looking up some stuff and read some articles and watched some YouTube videos, and there was one video that was talking about societal faux pas in Japan, and one of them were tipping.
Yeah.
One of them was tipping, rather. Like, if it said if you tip at a restaurant and leave, the majority of the time, the waiter that you had or whatever is going to run after you and be like, hey,
You left money.
you left money
Yeah,
here.
yep.
So because it's kind of like
Yeah,
you've
but
already paid.
Japanese culture is so much better than most others around the world.
I mean,
it's so much more like their demeanor is much better. They're
polite,
polite. They're very thankful for everything.
clean.
Yeah. I mean, they're on a whole nother level.
Yep,
We
they're
can't
on
even
another
compare the U.S.
We need to go to Japan.
Yeah, we need to.
Yeah, I would love to.
Anybody listening, you want to pay for us to go to Japan?
Yeah, right. Yeah, like it's gonna happen. Elon, you out there, Mr. Beast?
Yeah.
Any y'all out there?
Speaking of Mr. Beast, I saw he was like the age restriction for the presidency was lowered. I'd run.
Mr. Beast?
Yeah, and I was like, really? And he said something like, "Well, I got another like
can't feed hungry children chocolate
8
bars."
years ago, or it was, I don't know how old he was, but he said I still got some time to go. And he was like, "I wouldn't look at political party. I wouldn't look at the right or the left." He said, "I would just focus on the American people." And it was just this weird, like, sounds good, but not really. It's like, yeah, we get it. You're popular. You have a lot of money. Does that mean that you qualify to be the president?
That's what I'm saying. Like, are we getting to that point now where we're considering electing YouTube personalities?
You remember, please tell me you remember Idiocracy, the movie.
Oh, of course.
And they had, the president was
he was like a wrestler.
The wrestler.
Wasn't he? Yeah.
And he was like, "What you all talk about?" I mean, it was just like, just a complete, like, illiterate, just, he won the popular vote.
And that movie's no longer funny because it's so close to being fucking true.
Oh my God, it's getting so close.
If you haven't seen Idiocracy, y'all need to check that out.
Please.
It's crazy how close it is.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting to that point where it's not about what you think, it's about popularity.
Oh, yeah.
We got that scare when Kanye ran. Remember
he
ran?
He didn't officially run, did he?
He did. He was on there. I know he was in like certain states. He had gotten like 5%.
Wow.
Of like a popular vote, and I'm like, that's scary.
Yeah.
Because now we're getting to the point where, well, I like someone, so I don't care what they believe.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You kind of have to know what they believe in.
Right.
To just go, I like that person. I mean, I could be like, yeah, I like, some random YouTuber guy who likes to talk about games and stuff. There you go.
Yeah.
He's our president. What's he going to do? Everybody has to get a computer.
PewDiePie.
I mean, it's like, right. It's like, the logic doesn't make sense, but Mr. Beast is one of the most popular people out there on YouTube, by far.
Oh, dude, he's got the most subscribers of anything.
If
on
he
YouTube.
ran for president today, I guarantee you he would probably get 10 to 15%.
Who would be in his cabinet? Like Rhett and Link?
Or all the people he works with.
Yeah. I do like Rhett and Link. I love a good mythical.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'd elect them into political office.
Right, no, but all the people aged from like 18 to probably 30 would be like, yeah, I'm going for him. He's young. He's got money. He's funny. That's it.
I know.
We're good to go. It's it's crazy.
All right. I think it's going to be do you understand tipping culture any better?
Tipping culture?
Do you understand it anymore?
Not really. I think
we're
still confused because if businesses would just act right.
I think we're going to need to get some more help on that. Well, I mean, not just think beyond.
I don't know who can help us.
I don't know. If you think you can help us, please send us an email.
Yeah. Maybe if you've worked in the tipping industry and that's been your sole source of income, that would be the perfect person to answer some of these
Seriously, we would love to talk to you. Send us an email, helpuspod helpuspod@gmail.com, and also check us out at Help Us Understand Podcast on YouTube. Take a look at our videos. We're going to upload one every week, or at least try to.
We're going to get this on YouTube, Google+. Your sister's
ass. Yeah, we'll try to get it up on all platforms, and we'll update you guys with each episode. But please send us an email with your suggestions, questions, and opinions, and check us out on YouTube.
And if you want us to talk about something specific, it's pulling your heartstrings, and you are like, man, I need these guys that I barely know on episode 3 to talk about this. Tell us.
Let us know.
Yes. We'll be happy to.
I don't know if we can fill an entire episode.
Unless it's something like, what's up with trampolines? I don't know how much we can do on that.
Can you talk about your favorite Pop-Tart flavor for 30 minutes?
Oh, I probably could get into that pretty heavily.
I can't. I can't even name a Pop-Tart flavor.
Up there,
Dude, man,
anyway.
All right, that's it for us, guys. Thanks for listening. I was Josh.
I was Zach.
You were Zach. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.